Hi there and welcome to my channel. I'm Teaspoon and we're here again with Foodie Beauty as she limbers up for the weigh-in that she's been dreading. Let's see how it goes, shall we?
I was dreading this weigh-in, guys. I was dreading this weigh-in. Hello, Foodie Beauties. Well, hello there.
Skip.
Did you know that October 30th, 153.9.
Oh, and I've bumped the speed up a bit to 1.5, so things should be a little quicker than last time. Hang on there, that's a jump cut. Last time you censored your feet so we could actually see you stepping onto the scale and actually weighing in. This time it's just a jump cut. Your scale could have a memory function. It could be showing you the weight that you were last week. Is this a true representation of the weigh-in? Could be another act of subterfuge.
I'm gonna do it again just to make sure. Okay. Exact same. What the heck?
So there we are again. So she's done a re-weigh. Interestingly, if you look up at the top of the screen, she has put last week's weigh-in 151.5 kilograms, 334 pounds. And then today, 153.9 kilograms, 339 pounds. Now, there's a little problem with that because that's actually from last week. So she's posted last week's weigh-in into this video. So she's effectively saying, look, I've stayed the same and I've hit a plateau. We'll talk more about the plateau later.
Okay, so 153.9. Hi guys. I'm telling you, if you haven't used Vaseline for your lips, you're missing out. So, I putting my hijab a little more under my chin so that it stays in place more. I think that's the key, but we'll see. If you're a hijabi, you know about slippage. It's real. Okay, my beautiful cat is here. Do you want to say hi to the people?
I'm going to just slow this down a tad to 1.25.
Oh, hi people.
Oh no, don't do this. Don't force Julia on us again. Especially after some certain posts that you put on your community tab this morning and then hurriedly took them down in reference to Julia and the whole spaying and neutering question. So, as I've said before, you know, if you don't want people to comment on what you're doing or not doing, more to the point with Julia, you know, that you've no intention of getting her spayed, then please don't keep bringing her online and making her part of your content, because you can't then have a go and say to people, mind your own business about Julia. I'll get her and spayed when I want. So there. So the message simply is, don't bring her online and make her part of your content, and then we the watchers can say nothing about it. Otherwise, buckle up, because we're going to keep reminding you and we're going to keep saying it. Get Julia fixed.
Oh. Juicy juice. All right, so I did a weigh-in today. It was weigh-in Wednesday. And I was dreading this weigh-in, guys. I was dreading this weigh-in. You have no idea. I was almost not gonna do it and just like do my thing where I'm like, I don't want people to talk about my weight. I don't want people to talk about my struggles. And
I'll say this again, and I've probably said this before. You know, she's saying now, oh, I don't really want to talk about my weight issues and my struggle. But you've made it part of your content. You've brought it onto the internet and monetized your weight loss journey. You're making bank off it. So again, just like the situation with Julia, if you're going to make it part of your content, don't get irritated when we, as spectators, comment on it, because we're entitled to an opinion just like you are.
Anymore. Like, I don't want to give people fodder to attack me over things anymore. And I was just gonna I was in the mood to just clam up and like keep all weight loss stuff off of my channel until I've made some progress, respectable progress, significant progress, I should say, because any progress is respectable. But like, you know, how Nick Akano did, you know, he came back when he was at the end stages. Same with people like Obese to Beast. I'm sure they had many struggles, and one day it just stuck. They were able to keep going longer and longer and being consistent.
I mean, yeah, that's the point. You know, you're gonna have up and downs, and nobody's lambasting you for that. They want to see you succeed.
Now, I still haven't ordered any fast food. My macaroni bechamel is not fast food. It's homemade pasta.
Oh, okay, here we go. Now, we're sort of slipping into delusional territory again. That pasta that you consumed yesterday, that was, you said, from a restaurant, a Greek restaurant, I think you said. So certainly it was takeaway, ergo it was fast food, because takeaway, fast food, same thing.
And I haven't had any fast food joints since Thailand still.
Foodie, yes you have. When you had your rage the other evening, when you went so low with FFG in the way that you did, you were chowing down fries and a kebab while you were doing it. That's fast food. You know, if you're ordering in food from a restaurant or from a takeaway place, it's still fast food. It's still incredibly unhealthy, and it's not going to help in the slightest. In fact, you'd probably find with a lot of takeaways, their calorie count would far exceed the calorie burden of, say, a Big Mac and some fries, or a Whopper, or a Chicken Royale.
Maybe that is having an impact on me not gaining weight, because I have been overeating quite a bit more than when I was on track, and I haven't done the treadmill in a few days now, and that's just because I'm so unmotivated right now, and I'm having trouble with my sleep, and I'm just off.
Yeah, what I was going to say was that the problem you've got, Foodie, is that your sleep pattern is utterly wrecked. You know, you're sort of going to bed sort of 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. You know, you're basically going to bed when some people are getting up and going to work. So your body clock is entirely messed up. You need to sort of start looking at going to bed at, say, 10 p.m, or 11 p.m, you know, and actually sleeping through the night and then getting up in the daytime, you know, and doing things that way. I did 4 years in the CCTV control room, and I was on days and nights, alternating between the two, and it really does mess with your body clock, and that can affect your metabolism as well.
Off track, you know, it's just hard. I want to get back on track, and I do plan to. I think that I'm going to wait till after Halloween. I know that sounds so typical and so like, I'm going to wait till next Monday kind of thing.
Yeah, again, this is one of the common pitfalls with weight loss, any weight loss regime. As soon as you sort of say, okay, I'm going to get back on track on Monday, you instantly have put a roadblock there and set yourself up for failure. So in essence, Foodie, what I'm saying is, don't wait until the next day or the next week. You have to sort of say, okay, I've slipped up there, I've done that, need to draw a line under it and get back on track straight away. So don't leave it a couple of days or 3 days or say, oh well, I've messed up this week, I might as well carry on, because then that's gonna only push your weight back up again. Say to yourself, I'm gonna start right here, right now. That was a good 90s song, that was. Right here, right now. Was it Fatboy Slim? I think it was, yes.
And it is. I want to have treats for Halloween. It's a comfort thing for me, and that's what I'm having major issues with.
Yeah, and you're going to have major issues, but you have to break the habit. Now, you've said before, there's obvious mental health issues that put obstacles in your way and make it harder for you to restrict in this way. This is why I think a lot of people in girl world have said to you, you need inpatient treatment, where really it's a matter of life or death. And I do not say that lightly. It's literally a matter of life or death. You need decisive action, and I think the only way you're going to get the support you need to conquer these problems is inpatient treatment and therapy. There's just no other way around it, Foodie.
I think that maybe I haven't gained weight. I'm really like surprised that it stayed the same, because like I thought maybe it was like stuck at the previous setting, but it's never done that before, you know. So, and like I've showed you guys many times, this scale does not have a tamper option. This is to change from pounds to kgs, battery.
Yeah, I know you keep making the point and saying, look, you can't sort of tamper with this scale, you can't sort of recalibrate it, but there are multiple ways where you can affect the weight that it gives you by standing on it, say with one leg, weighing it on carpet, for example, or on uneven flooring, or a couple of cases of water, or a filled suitcase, anything like that. So there are ways to cheat the system. I know you're sort of happy that you haven't gained this week, but the fact that it is the same, 153.9 down to the decimal point, is suspicious, to say the least. That kind of thing really doesn't happen at all.
It kind of makes sense that I would stay the same because I have been eating the same in a way, same patterns, but just eating more. So, for example,
Yeah, you've eaten a damn sight more, actually. I mean, it's difficult to tell because we only see a small slice of your life, so We don't know what you're doing in, say the other 16 hours when you're not online. We don't know what you're doing then, whether it's eating, nibbling, sleeping. So it's difficult to say exactly. You've plainly gorged a lot this week. That pasta that you had, last night, that would have easily fed a family of 4. You just can't do it like that way. And you have to be honest with yourself sometimes and say, yep, this is what I've done. This is why my weight is where it is. And be prepared that sometimes a gain can show the following week. I have struggled with my weight for years. I don't mind admitting that. I go to a weekly class and, I went through a stage where my weight stayed the same, and then the following week I would gain. It was like it caught up with me. So sometimes when you think you've escaped or gotten away with it, you haven't. So just be aware and ready for that, and deal with the possibility that there might be a gain the following week, but you don't let that knock you back. You keep on going.
I bought those 3 big bags of broccoli. I have 1 left and it's only been a couple days or so. Because, if I feel like eating something at night, I'll usually make like a whole bag of broccoli. It's a low calorie volume food, and I'll just put like a bit of soy sauce or something on it. Sometimes a little bit of butter. I try not to overdo it with the butter. It's just these little...
Yeah, and again, that's another problem. You're taking something healthy, like a vegetable, like broccoli, for example, and you're adding butter and soy sauce to it. So you're taking something that was healthy, and then you're making it unhealthy. So my advice would be to cut out the butter altogether. Otherwise, you might as well not be eating the vegetables, because you've completely negated the healthy aspects and benefits that they would have for you.
Little things that I try really, really hard, and you wouldn't believe the willpower it takes, even just from changing, number one, not eating fast food when I was eating it like twice a day, okay? But even just making a little change, like not adding 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter and only adding a teaspoon. Just that cut down takes a lot of willpower and a lot of strength, inner strength. And I guess sometimes you just get tired. You just get really tired and burnt out. And
I mean, yeah, I'll accept that if you've reduced how much butter you're putting on your vegetables, that's a good thing. And I'll always be saying to someone who does that, well done. And that's not me being sarcastic. That's me saying, honestly, that's good. If you've gone from using 3 tablespoons to a teaspoon, then that's great. I just hope that is exactly what you're doing, because like I say, otherwise you're completely negating what you're trying to do. You're working against yourself. It's like with the latte, the pumpkin spice latte. Very calorific. Some of these drinks have got 400, 500 calories, because you can have something that's far more satisfying.
And I do want to get back on the track that I was before, when I was like consistently losing.
I don't think you have been consistent, really. I'd like to say you have, but unfortunately what we've seen hasn't been consistent. I think you do have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, I really need to make big changes here. And again, you can't make small steps. The time of making small steps and small gradual changes is doable when, say, you're merely overweight. But the fact of the matter is, you're way beyond that. You're morbidly obese, and that does change how you have to tackle it. It's like with Dr. Now. With his patients, he puts them on a very restricted diet, because it's literally a life and death situation and the changes have to be made. And this is why we say inpatient therapy is the way to go, because the small changes don't work, because we've been here before many times.
But like I said, it's not just all numbers on the scale. I actually take comfort in the little accomplishments, like the no fast food, because you guys know me, I was the biggest fast food addict.
Again, like I say, Foodie, you're sitting there and saying, oh look, I haven't had fast food. You have on numerous occasions, and I've already spoken about those already.
The way I've been able to keep that away is eating adequate food here, kind of switching it up. You know, instead of a chicken royal, a bag of broccoli. Yes, I eat a lot of cheese and stuff like that, but I've had, you know, I do eat maybe the bags of chips I eat are so tiny. Literally, when you dump the bag out, all the chips can fit in the palm of your hand. So even a few of those must be like the equivalent of a regular small bag of chips. So I buy those little bags of chips because I can still eat chips, and it's not, you know, even after just 2 or 3 of those, I'm satisfied with that craving.
I mean, by all means, you know, if you like chips and you have them in the house, you know, yes, stick with 1 bag. The problem is that if these are like triggering foods to you, foods that you find that you can't control how much you eat of them. For example, for me, it's Haribo Tang Fastics. If I've got Haribo Tang Fastics in the house, I'm eating them. I'm chowing down on them, you know, and it's very hard for me to restrict myself and say, just have 4, and then, you know, close the tub lid and leave them alone. So generally speaking, if I've got a food that I can't limit myself on, like say lemon shortbread, Haribo Tang Fastics, then I leave them in the supermarket, and that's the best place to leave them. If you can't adequately control what you're having and say, I'm just having the 1 bag, if it's a triggering food for you, don't buy it.
Instead of eating the high fat pork variety that I would eat in Canada, I get turkey, lean turkey, oven roasted turkey.
In your last grocery haul, what you had there, that didn't look like lean turkey breast meat. It looked like bologna or some sort of cuts like that. Again, high in salt, high in fat, high in calories. It's no good for you.
And that must not have, I mean, it has a fraction of the calories. It's very low in calories, very lean, low fat food, but it still feels like I'm eating cold cuts, you know? So I'm trying to find little tricks like that, and I think they've kind of been working because my weight hasn't fluctuated like at all. I'm just staying the same, and that happens, you plateau a lot. So I think if I had been keeping up the treadmill, I think I would have been down.
Yeah, about plateau, hitting a plateau. Normally, a person will hit a plateau after they've lost quite a lot of weight. It is far too early in the game for you to have hit a plateau. This isn't a plateau. It's you've stayed the same, but you're going to need to make changes to ensure that you don't gain next week. So don't mistake this for a plateau, because a plateau only comes when a person's already been losing weight consistently, and then they're still doing the same things, but because their body's adjusted to, say, perhaps the amount of exercise they're doing or the amount of food that they're taking in, that person then hits what they call a plateau. You know, the things that they were doing which worked and helped them lose weight stop working. So then they need to make further adjustments and changes to keep that weight loss going. So what I would say is, this isn't a plateau, okay? Don't mistake it for one.
and not just running away when it gets tough or when I think I've failed or I'm going through a hard part. And I really, you know, don't want to be so caring or give attention to negative people, because it's everywhere. People just like coming for you the minute you eat something they don't think you should, especially carbs. You wouldn't imagine the hate I get over carbs. It's really funny. But
the reason you get hate over carbs, Foodie, is because you're diabetic. People aren't just ragging on you for eating carbs. It's because you're a diabetic, and as a diabetic you really have to watch your carbs and follow a low carb diet, and you're just simply not doing that, and your blood sugars are going to suffer for it. You know, I know you said something that it was 7.7 the day after you ate a ton of carbs. I'm sort of skeptical there with that reading. You might want to get the machine checked, because there is no way that your blood sugars would be 7.7 with the amount of carbs that you're taking in, the amount of sugars as well. It's just not going to be anything like that. So get the machine checked, I think.
I gotta crack down, man, because I really just want to have more stamina to do a lot of things when we travel next. And yes, we're going together, because I'm not traveling if he doesn't come with me. But no, there's no reason he wouldn't come with me unless it was an emergency situation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the reason you're going to be travelling again soon is because your visa is due. So you're going to be travelling on your visa. So it remains to be seen whether Salah comes with you or not. I suspect it will very much hinge on whatever income you've managed to make and set aside, and whether that's sufficient for both of you to travel.
Still, like, there's like calories and so many calories in fast food. It's crazy, you know. A lot more than eating like 3 Baby Bell cheeses and a bag of broccoli, some turkey meat. Still less calories. Even just a Baby Bell cheese has 60 calories or 70 calories. It's not that much. It's not bad. Unless you eat 10, but no, I don't eat that much. Maybe 3. I don't know. In one sitting, but I try to eat one. But they're so good. Have you guys ever had Baby Bell cheese? The temptation in life. Right, Juice? She's a
yeah, you know, it's, again, like I say, if there are foods that you can't limit yourself with, that you find yourself going back for another one and another one and another one, don't buy them in. Right, that's about it, everybody. Thank you ever so much for tuning in again today. Take care now, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.